Welcome to Grown Men Chopping It Up with J.R. Ryder and Kerry Witta K. This is a grown-up place for grown-up talk. Put the kids to bed and crank up the volume. And let's get to it.
Today's episode brought to you by Fanny Flutters. Fanny Flutters is when you see someone and get a slight tingling sensation in your private area. It could suggest that you have some sort of sexual chemistry with them and want to have sexual interactions with them too, or just to find them extremely attractive. Oh my God, she gives me the fanny flutters. That is crazy. I wonder if that's a straight or a gay thing. I'm not sure. Is that the same thing as an assgasm? Probably not. Anyway, my first topic is about finding and activating the G-spot. Now this should help a lot of fellas out, maybe some women that want to know how to find their partner's G-spot if they are lesbians or things like that. But anyway, the G-spot, or Grafenberg spot, as it's officially called, is the erogenous area of the vagina located 1 to 3 inches into the canal along its front wall between the urethra and the bladder. When stimulated, the G-spot can bring on powerful orgasms, create extra lubrication, and cause female ejaculation. A phenomenon that scientists are still studying to this day. Now, researchers say every woman has one, so let these tips to be your guide to help you locate the G-spot and enhance sexual satisfaction for you and your partner. Now, number 1, without intercourse, use your hands. When using the hands to locate the G-spot, make sure your nails are trimmed and smooth to avoid scratching and damage to the vaginal wall. Notice I said vaginal. Steph always says I say vaginal. I like the sound of vaginal, but I'll say it right for y'all. Vaginal. The vaginal wall. Lay on your back with a palm facing upwards. Take the middle finger and insert it into the vagina about 2 to 3 inches in and curl the finger back towards you in a come here motion. You know, like they're saying, come here, practice doing the come here motion with your finger. Once the G-spot is located, you should feel a round, hard spot within the within the vaginal wall that feels like a walnut. Massage this area in a circular motion to stimulate the G-spot. The sensation to pee may be felt. As this is common with the G-spot stimulation, make sure to empty your bladder before sexual activity. Go and pee before you start having sex or whatever. But I notice for us guys, if I have to pee a little bit, then it actually helps because it takes away some of the sensation and I stay harder longer. I like to have that issue anyway, but having to pee a little bit takes away the sensation and makes it so I can go longer. But if I have to pee too bad, I have to stop because, it's pushing on my bladder too soon. So, there's a thing in Africa, in the continent of Africa, African men describe how a woman's orgasm is sacred and how it is they get to the G-spot to release what they say is the gift from the gods. Now, African men call the woman orgasm the gift from the gods. That's a little tidbit for you. Now, if you're doing intercourse, this is number 2. Prop up your pelvis using pillows. In missionary position, place a few pillows underneath the female partner's lower back to prop up her pelvis in order to create an angle that will hit the G-spot perfectly. Stimulating the G-spot is about angles. Use these positions and several others will get you in a position to get the G-spot stimulation that you seek. That's important. If you prop up a pillow, you get her back arched a little bit. That's going to help you. Now 3, listen for nonverbal cues. If you're looking to really please your partner by stimulating her G-spot but don't know where it is, pay attention to where her nonverbal signs are. Moaning, changing in body movements, heavy breathing, or when all else fails, just ask, hey, how's this doing? Is this getting any better for you? You know what I'm saying? So those 3 tips should actually help you stimulate your partner and find the G-spot. Now, not a lot of women have actually had their G-spot stimulated. I'm sure you've heard that several times, so that can be a problem for some women, but just give it a try, If all else fails, keep trying. Don't be frustrated in doing it, especially if you're with your life partner or your husband or wife, you guys got forever for each other, so don't even trip. Now, the next topic I have is dating. And these are some of the things that black men share. Black men share the do's and don'ts of dating. Now, these are like highbrow black men, dudes that are thinkers, PhDs, professional men with jobs, things like that. First thing they say is, don't seek someone to complete you. Now, they have an equation for this. I don't know if it's going to make a lot of sense to y'all, but I'm sure some of y'all are a lot smarter than me, and the equation may make sense to you. Here's what it says. If I'm half a man and she's half a woman, and I use the mathematical equation of multiplication, a 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. When we get into the relationship together, because I'm half a man and she's half a woman, we end up with less than what we should have had in the relationship. Work on becoming whole first. Being whole can discern who's whole and who's not whole. Hope that makes sense to you. I had to read it a few times to see if it made sense to me, and it still didn't. But give it some thought. That's just one of them. The next man says, don't convict the next man for the last man's crime. A date is a choice. It's a chance. It's a gamble. You can't go in asking him to give you 100% and you only give 40. It's true. You don't open up to everybody you meet, but you don't lie either. If you walk into the relationship saying, well, Marcus didn't treat me right, so Ray won't treat me right either, that's what you'll get. You can speak things into existence. The next man says, surprise him with acts of kindness. A little kindness can go a long way. After hours of working on my feet, she rubs my feet with peppermint oil. She recognizes that my baby is working hard. He has a party of 1,000 tonight, so tonight when he comes home, I'm going to do something for him. It keeps my ego in check. Now this man says this woman surprises him with acts of kindness. The peppermint oil thing. Now they have a peppermint bath oil. For guys, it's actually a good thing because, to give you a little insight on me, I use the peppermint bath oil to take a bath in. Now, since we don't really have any open parts, once you get used to it, like if you scrub your nuts with bath oil, with peppermint bath oil, it gives it a fresh feeling. You feel how if you blow on it, it's like you can feel the air you're blowing on it. But it is a little difficult for women to use peppermint oil because it gets in their vagina and it stings. You shouldn't use anything that harsh in your vagina because it can interrupt your pH balance. Now, because it's really important that y'all have a proper pH balance. Now, you can use it on the top half of your body if you're a woman, but if you're a guy, use it everywhere because musty nuts is not attractive to none of them. That's just what I heard. I don't have that problem. Next man says, don't expect dating will lead to marriage. Ray says, some men like to date and are not interested in marriage at the time. I like to date because I enjoy a woman's company. The thing with that is, women of a certain age, mostly like women over 40, they've been through serial monogamy relationships and things like that. And they may be looking for something more serious. They've got kids that are teenagers or in their 20s, what have you. So they're looking for a relationship to have more meaning. Like, if we're not dating to get married, what are we doing? That kind of thing. And you just have to break it down to them that, we're fucking. Basically, that's what we're doing. So, get off my back, lady. Anyhow, there's a article called Why Black Men and Black Women Are Incompatible that I wanted to mention a few things from. Whether it's right or wrong, I have no idea, but it is very interesting. It was published on the Euroweb. Now, the first part of the article says, black men openly disrespect black women. Over the years, hip-hop culture has programmed black males to be suspicious of their female partners' selfish ways. The concept is emphasized in rap lyrics like, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Black men don't view black women as suitable life partners. The former group often complains about how they're emasculated and underestimated by the latter group. Now, I think part of that has been engineered, and not necessarily by us. put into our lives or introduced in a certain way. I do notice that we spend a lot of time talking about black male and black female relationships, things we don't like about each other, stuff like that. We spend an awful lot of time just arguing with each other over relationships instead of just having them. I think there's more arguments on relationships than there are people just being in them. So the next part of the article says, black women have been corrupted by modern feminism. You probably heard this before. Black women aren't looking for a man to follow. They're searching for a man to control. Traditional gender roles have been destroyed by the rise of feminism, and black women are leading the charge. They view themselves as independent and more resourceful than their mothers and grandmothers. That may be true, because I'm pretty sure the grandmothers wanted the mothers to be better than them, and in some cases, the mothers wanted the daughters to be better than them. And I say in some cases because it seems like women in my particular age group, I guess I'm 47 right now. In my age group came the crack era, so a lot of the mothers of the daughters in my age group were crackheads. So they did something strange for a piece of change, and their daughters saw this going on, and some saw things wrong with it, some of them didn't. But the ones that did, they tried to do the best they could for their children. The ones that didn't now have children that are in the age group below me that are having sex for shoes, for paying my phone bill. They use sex as a weapon or as a means of getting the things that they need to get. That's, I'm not judging that, but it's not something that I would want my daughter to do. I also noticed that when you look at Instagram, the whole term of being an Instagram model is crazy to me, because they're posing on Instagram in their skivvies or their bikinis or naked or in the drawers, and then because what happens is, women know men are visual. So we like to see shit. We're gonna look at stuff. So what they do to catch you up as a man that likes to see shit is they show you the pictures of them scantily clad or in something tight or with the booty out, whatever. And you look at that and you go, oh, that's cool, whatever. I'm looking. And then they'll send you a DM. The DM says, if you like the pictures that you see on my page, I can give you a code to look at the private photos. Now, you have to pay for them private photos, so I don't know how much it is, 'cause I've never done that dumb shit. But it's probably like a monthly subscription that you have to pay. And just think, if she gets you to do that, just think 100 more men or 1,000 more men or whatever. That's a come up. She ain't even got to work no more at that point. All she doing is taking pictures and showing it to dumbasses like you that pay a monthly subscription to look at a naked woman. Porn is free. Pornhub, PornoTube, X videos, all that's free. And you sitting there paying a monthly subscription to look at that shit from some girl down the street. You paying her rent, her car note, and all this other dumb shit. I really need to make a whole podcast about that and interview one of those women, just to see where their mindset is and how much they actually make on it. I'm going to try to set that up pretty soon. We'll see. Now, the next part of the article goes, black women don't know when to shut up. That's right, I said it. Black women are incapable of sincere apologies and compromise. They'd rather crush their partners with harsh criticisms and foul language. Silence is not an option. I think that's true for some black women, but there are a lot of black women that listen, take what you got to say, and if they're wrong, they say they're wrong. I think that's an incorrect assessment of all black women. I don't believe in blanket statements for everybody, because everybody's different. We're all born different, born to different parents, live in different regions, had different things go on in our life. And that's that. So I don't think that's true. Next part says, black men are reluctant to express their feelings. Black males generally aren't reared in environments where they're encouraged to be expressive. They're often told by their women in their lives that showing too much emotion is feminine or soft. In relationships, black men are reluctant to be vulnerable in fear of being taken advantage of or called a wuss by their spouse. They typically use sex to express how they feel. Very unhealthy. There are some women that don't mind you expressing yourself or being sad or crying, but believe me, if you do it often, she gonna call you a crybaby for sure. You can't sit there and blubber every week. You can't cry with her at the soap operas or sad parts in movies when Lassie dies. You can't cry because she's watching. You know what I'm saying? Having a sensitive man is great. You should be in touch with all of your emotions, not just the angry or the mad or the other stuff. You should be able to be sad. If you're sad and your woman knows you're sad, she should be wanting to cheer you up. If she knows you're the type of guy that can be cheered up, that's fine. If not, she give you your space and let you do it. But we are raised to not show the emotion of being soft or sad. We're raised that way by our uncles or big cousins. Like if a little boy falls on the ground, it's not like they say, "Oh my goodness, what's wrong with you? Get up." They say, "Oh, shake it off. You okay? You all right?" Like Eminem says in the song, getting up with two broken legs, trying to walk it off. It's like you can't walk that off. If you fuck up and playing basketball and you twist your ankle, they tell you to tie your shoes tighter. The other dudes on the court would be like, "Oh man, you okay? Tie your shoe tighter." You sitting there with your ankle probably broken and they still want you to play. Fucking ridiculous. Sometimes in basketball is a good analogy for it, because even in basketball, I can remember playing and it would be like, no blood, no foul. So it don't matter how hard this nigga hits you. If you ain't bleeding, there's no foul. It's like, hey, that's how we do each other. We're not taught, like they tried to come out with that My Buddy doll. Now the My Buddy doll was great, but we're not playing with that shit. My buddy. We're not playing with that because, we're not taught to play with dolls and nurture. That's not what we're taught. We're taught to destroy, kill, and fuck as many female human bodies we can. That's what they teach us when we're little kids. When you're a little kid and you happen to be handsome, even if you're not handsome, they tell you are, which is good for guys. They tell you you're cute even when you're not. They'll be like, "Oh, he is so handsome. He gonna have a lot of girlfriends when he grows up." That's what they tell us. My mother used to tell me, when you grow up, you're gonna have girls falling at your feet. She used to fill my head full of that shit. So when it actually happened, I was like, "Oh shit, I knew this was gonna happen. Whatever I survey is mine. I'm the king." No, that's not really what happened. But when I did have my plethora of women to choose from, I knew it was coming because it was my birthright. But we do that to boys. We tell boys, have a bunch of girlfriends, do what you want to, but we don't do that to girls. You don't never catch nobody telling no little girl, "You're gonna have so many boyfriends when you grow up." That's not what we tell them at all. So we should actually tell little boys that you're gonna be a faithful man. You're going to have a great job when you grow up. You're going to own a business when you grow up. You're going to respect women. Why won't we tell these little boys that? But we don't. But anyhow, the next part of the article is black men use black women as objects of sexual satisfaction and procreation. It's a vicious cycle, but for dozens of years, black men have objectified black women in a plethora of ways. Also, the idea of building a stable family holds less importance to black men than other racial groups. They're more concerned with spreading their seed and preserving their legacy through their offspring. Marriage comes in a distant second. That is a very bad paragraph, because I don't feel that black men use black women as objects of sexual satisfaction or procreation. And as part of objectifying, we as black men, and I'm only speaking for the ones that don't, all black men don't objectify black women. Because if you think about it, some of these women objectify themselves. And I'm not talking about the women that just get dressed, go to work, go to school, and just wear what they want to in public, because you are entitled to wear whatever hell you want to. I'm talking about the women that wear the net skirt with no panties on to the Jamaican club, and she dancing all night. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tell her to put that on. So that's not me objectifying her. That's her trying to be more attractive than other women. Notice what I said. I didn't say that's her trying to catch men. I'm saying that's her trying to be more attractive than the other women that are going to be there. Women dress for each other. They're not dressing for us, basically. And of course, they wear tight things. They wear short things. There's no crime in that at all. But that's not the man telling them to dress that way. I don't pick what you wear. I don't go in your closet and say, hey, wear this. And if I buy you something, I'm buying you shit that you already wear. I'm not picking out a burqa for you to wear if I don't see one in your wardrobe already. So I don't think that's correct. Now, I'm sure there are black men out here that objectify black women, you know. I'm sure there are some, but I don't put the onus on all of us to say that we do that to them. It's not on us. It's on. I think we both probably have an equal share in the blame for that. The idea of building a stable family holding less importance to black men. I think that's not completely true either, because I think if you grow up in a stable family and you know what it's like and you have value in it, then that's what you want. Nobody wants to be a gigolo or someone that's perpetually in and out of different women's bedrooms. I don't think black men aspire to do that at all. Even if you do, you may do that when you're young, but as you get older, you go, wow, what am I doing? I want somebody just for me. There should be somebody just for me. The thing with spreading your seed and preserving the legacy, it says black men are more concerned with spreading their seed. I don't think it's about spreading your seed. I think sex for black men, the sperm part is just what happens. That's a matter of nature. That's what happens. You nut, sperm comes out. She can't get pregnant from that. But I think, and I know this for a fact, if black men could only have the orgasm without the sperm, they would do it. I think they would do it. I think we all would do it, because what we're chasing is the orgasm. And there are ways for black men to have, well, not just black men, but men in general. There are ways for a man to have an orgasm without ejaculating, and that has to do with Kegels. The muscle that you use to pee, that you use to hold your pee. Like if you stand up at the toilet one day, right, and go and pee, then cut it off, then pee again, then cut it off. Now, if you practice doing that, a few times a day, same way women do it when they learn to grip your dick, which is dangerous because that ruins your pull-out game. If you learn to do that, to hold it, eventually you'll be able to have an orgasm and hold back the ejaculate. That right there is valuable, because what makes you soft after you have sex is ejaculating. If you can separate that and just have the orgasm, you can hold off gratification indefinitely. You might not even have to come at all. If you could hold it and then just have the orgasm, nigga, just imagine how many times you could do that. You could do that 4 or 5 times. You could do what they say in the songs and do it all night. Because when you nut, that's what makes you soft and have to have a refractory period. If you can not nut and just have an orgasm, you're a dangerous man. She gonna call people and be like, do you never know what this nigga just did? And she can't ever say she's pregnant because you didn't nut. You just orgasm hella times like she do. Cheating and going on. Anyhow, next one says, black women pattern their behavior after their favorite personalities on social media and reality TV. The average black woman would rather have the life of a basketball wife, not Michelle Obama. I don't think that's true, but let me explain what I think they mean. um, women that are single or messing with ballers, or when you watch the basketball wives on TV or things like that, they seem like they're having more fun than someone like Michelle Obama. They seem like it. But if you really look into it, it's a lot of drama. It's a lot of drama. It's fighting. It's chasing away other women that are after your man. It's like it doesn't seem attractive to me. But for some women are looking for that. Women you see at the clubs nowadays or in the street, they're trying to look like those women. They're trying to act like those women. They're leaving the regular 9 to 5 guys out of the loop because they don't feel they make enough money. But they're not trying to be equally yoked, because it's not like they have a job where they're making millions a year. They work at Costco and Target, but they want a dude that's a baller that's making $1 million. I mean, if you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose, you may get that guy. But you gotta get to him first. You gotta fight for his attention. There's 1 million other women trying to get that dude also. But my thing with that is some black women do. They rather have the life of a basketball wife. But if you understood what it is that Michelle Obama is getting, she's satisfied by one man. And I'm just saying, I don't know Michelle Obama. I'm just saying what I would speculate. A woman that's married to one man, that's in a happy relationship, she gets the love of one man, she gets the attention of one man, and it's a much simpler life. It may be boring to some folks, but waking up next to the same person every day is wonderful for some people. It's like, wow, this one person loves you, cherishes you. You don't have to worry about catching any venereal diseases. You living it up. This your guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anything wrong with that personally. So, but that's about it. They have a few other points, but they really don't make any real sense to me. Like the last one is black men and black women lack effective communication skills. That's some. That's not all, but that is some. I think an effective way of communicating more is just saying what you mean and mean what you say. Like I read something online today. This lady said one of her Facebook friends hit her up and said, "Hey, let's go on a date." And she said, "Yeah, let's go." So they went on the date, and they sat and talked for a while, had small talk. She had made up in her mind that she wanted to give him a second date. So he went to the bathroom and came back and said, "Oh, I'm trying not to be distracted, but you have nice breasts." Now she's saying she was offended by that. That she said she's feeling like she's been Me Too'd, right? Because he told her she has nice breasts and it's distracting him. Now, some people on the thread were like, that doesn't make any sense. At least he said what he meant. He didn't touch you. What I said to her was that you have every right to be offended. And I have nothing to add to the conversation. Because everybody that said she shouldn't be offended, she got back at them like, oh, so you're the kind of person that, you're one of those male chauvinists, and she really got at them. Like, so if you disagree with what she said and that she asked an opinion for, she jumped down your throat over it. And that's not cool. Who wants to do that? But that's what happened. So, maybe one day I'll read the article after I get, not the article, the post, once I get permission from her. But that's that. But this has been Grown Men Chopping It Up. Please hit us up. Send us an email, growmenchoppingitup@gmail.com. If you want to know how it's spelled, it's GROWMenchoppingitup.com. And you can give us a call. Well, not a call yet, but you can actually send us an email, growmenchoppingitup@gmail.com. Or we are on IG at Grown Men Chopping It Up. We're on Twitter at Grown Men Chopping It Up. We have a Facebook page, Grown Men Chopping It Up. Just give us a hit somewhere. Send us a message, and any questions that you have about your life, about a friend's life, you can do it anonymously, like we normally do. Just hit us up and let us know that you've been listening, or just give us a shout out on email and let us know you're listening. And, it's always good to know somebody's listening to this stuff because we're actively trying to come out with episodes and things like that. Just make it interesting for you. So until then, we'll get at you later.
So that concludes our show tonight. We know there's a lot of podcasts you could be listening to
and should be listening to.
So we thank you for riding with us. I'm J.R. Ryder.
And I'm Kerry Witta K. Make sure you look us up on Facebook or Instagram or get at us on grownmenchoppingitup@gmail.com. That's spelled out GROWNMENCHOPPINGITUP. And remember, everybody kneeling ain't praying.
Peace.